Let's kick things off by adding a cylinder to the scene. Then scale it up on the Z-axis to make it a bit taller. After that, add another cylinder for the pump head, and keep the vertex count low, around 16, this helps keep the topology clean. Next, rotate the cylinder and place it near the top center of the main body. Scale it down, but keep in mind that the vertices of both cylinders should line up, this helps maintain clean topology. Actually, 16 vertices still feel a bit too much, so let's remove a few more and simplify it even further. Fewer vertices here will give us cleaner topology and easier control later. Now that everything looks good, let's join these two shapes using a Boolean modifier. Go to the Modifiers tab, add a Boolean modifier, set it to union, and select the other cylinder as the object. Since our topology is clean, you can safely apply it. After that, delete the extra cylinder created by the Boolean. Now let's clean up the topology a bit by merging some vertices. Select the closest vertices, press M, and choose at center. You can also use at first or at last. At first merges everything into the first vertex you selected, and at last merges everything into the last one. Use whichever makes the most sense for your mesh.
Please
After that, add an edge loop and connect the side vertices as well. At this point, you've probably already guessed what we're doing next. Let's remove the top faces first, then fill it back in. And just like that, our shape is ready. Now let's add some bevels to the edges. Once the corners are beveled, just add a subdivision surface modifier and set it to level 2. And look at that, this is exactly the shape we were going for. Now let's add a hole in the pump, and no, not our pump, I mean the bottle's pump. Inset the face, extrude it inward, and add one more small inset. So the subdivision modifier works cleanly. Finally, select the edges and add a bevel to smooth everything out. And that's it for the main modeling. The outer shell is pretty straightforward, so I'll speed through that part.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. Today I am going to make a new video, so please whatever. Please I want to reach 1 million likes, so please
Now that the modeling is done, let's move on to texturing and lighting. But before that, let's quickly create an infinite background for the scene. Add a plane and scale it to fit your scene. Once that's done, go into edit mode, select the back edge, and extrude it upward. Then add a bevel to the corner and smooth it out. And that's it, our infinite background is ready. Now that the background is ready, let's add a camera before we start lighting. Add a camera to the scene and place it at an angle that works best for you. For the focal length, I usually go with 90 or 100 millimeters. It gives a much nicer product look compared to the default 50 millimeters. And don't forget to adjust the size and shape of the background based on your camera view, so everything fits cleanly in frame. Alright, one last thing, and this is important. If you don't do this, you'll hate yourself later. Let's parent the outer shell to the inner object, so we don't have to move everything one by one. Select both meshes, but here's the catch: the object you want as the parent must be selected last. If you don't, Blender will randomly pick a parent, and won't warn you at all. Now press Ctrl+P, choose Keep Transform, and boom. For lighting, I'm keeping things simple and using an HDRI, so we don't have to add a bunch of lights manually. Go to World Properties, click the yellow dot next to Color, and choose Environment Texture. Once that's done, load in your favorite HDRI. If you want to use the same one I'm using, I'll leave the link in the description. Make sure the strength is set to 1. Now here's something important to notice: the scene has a warm color cast, and that's coming straight from the HDRI. To fix this, switch over to the shader editor, change it from Object to World, and add a hue saturation node. Drag the saturation all the way down to 0. This removes all the color from the HDRI, keeps the lighting and reflections intact, and gives us a clean, neutral lighting setup. Simple, fast, and perfect for product shots. Now it's time for texturing. And here's a simple rule I always follow: whenever you start texturing, start with the color. So let's first add a base color to both objects. Once the main color is in place, I want to create a separation on the outer shell so we can add a second color. Go into Edit mode, add an edge loop wherever it feels right, then select the faces you want to change. Now head over to Material Properties, click the plus icon, hit New, and then press Assign. That gives us a second material on the same mesh. And just like that, we have two different colors on one outer shell. For this setup, I'll reuse the same material as the inner part because it looks clean, but honestly, this is where you can experiment and make it your own. Now, there's one issue you should know about when assigning different materials on a subdivision surface mesh, and this will definitely cause problems later, especially when you start adding labels. The clean fix is simple: to apply the subdivision modifier. Once you do that, those shading and material issues disappear. Next, let's add a bit of roughness to the surface so it feels more realistic instead of overly soft. We'll start by adding a noise texture, then hold Ctrl and click on it to preview the texture directly on the mesh. With the noise texture selected, press Ctrl+T to automatically add the mapping and texture coordinate nodes. Now switch the texture coordinates from generated to object. This keeps the texture consistent and distortion-free. From here, just tweak the scale and detail values until you get a surface breakup you like. Then add a bump node, connect the noise texture to height, and plug the bump's normal into the principal BSDF's normal. And just like that, the surface already feels way more realistic. For even better control, add a color ramp between the noise texture and the bump node. Push the contrast a bit and now you've got a much rougher, more believable surface. Finally, tweak the values to your own taste, don't just copy mine. And that wraps up the texturing part. Now it's time for the labeling part. But before we design the label, we need to export a proper UV layout so everything lines up correctly on the mesh. Hop into Edit mode, select the entire mesh, press U, and start with Smart UV Project. But as you can see, the UVs don't look great for a label, and that's expected. So instead, let's mark some seams to separate the area where the label will go. Once the seams are in place, unwrap the mesh again. After that, clean up the UV layout. Move or remove all the unused faces, and keep the main label faces centered and neatly packed. Finally, go to the UV menu and click Export UV Layout. This gives you a PNG file that you can use as a guide while designing your label. Now, since this isn't a label design tutorial, I'm gonna speed through this part. And hey, if you've made it this far, you might as well hit that subscribe button before we move on. Alright, now for the final step, applying the label. Add an image texture. Load in the label you just designed, and connect the color output to the base color of the principled BSDF. Then change the texture extension from repeat to extend. Once that's done, just tweak the UVs to position the label exactly where you want it on the mesh. Take a moment here, small adjustments make a big difference. And that's it. Now set up your scene, place the product in a way that looks good to you, and hit render. If you made it this far, drop a comment. It really helps the channel and motivates me to make more tutorials like this.